Critics, the show where we take a look at critic reviews and audience reactions to movies. Today we are looking at A Quiet Place. My name is Tech.
And I'm Kojak.
Ooh, that was fancy. Very fancy. We, of course, are going to look at audience reviews from Rotten Tomatoes. We're going to give you some incredibly true facts that are not true at all about the movie. But first, let's take a look at a professional critic's review of A Quiet Place, because A Quiet Place 2 is coming out very soon.
It is.
And so it seems like it makes sense to talk about this one.
And who are we looking at?
We're going to N plus one magazine.
Mag.
A.S. Hamra is the person who did this one, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know what your actual name is.
Well, we have a last name this time. The first time we had a first name.
Yeah.
So it's Steve Hamra.
Hamra.
Steve Hamra.
All right, so let's jump into it.
This is confusing. Corruptions and duplicates of form.
Yes.
He looks near homeless at times, a street creature in a movie where Pizza Rat meets Pizzagate. Does that have anything to do with what we're about to read?
I have no idea. I literally glanced through this and saw a couple things that were stupid and was like, that's the one.
Okay.
It was it's not hard to find a dumb review, by the way. It's really easy to do.
I hope this has to do, because I really want to see how they're going to tie in Pizzagate.
Or Pizza Rat. Is that Splinter?
Yes.
Let's take a look at this review and see what happens.
Still from... That's just another movie.
No, hold on.
Wait. Okay, what?
It's the first line seems like they're actually talking about that picture. This portrait of the American family. This portrait of the American family under attack from alien invaders comes in the form of a horror movie for MAGAites. That's why I grabbed this review. I read that and went,
what?
I don't know where this is going, but I can't wait to read it at all. So that's as far as I've gotten.
That is a lot to unpack.
That's as far as I've gotten in this review, and I immediately grabbed it. So we are seeing this for the first time.
I already see something else that they're making. Okay, go ahead.
Here, it is the aliens who snatch children, not ICE. As far as I know, the aliens kill anyone and anything in this movie. And they're not just snatching, they're killing them.
So they're ICE.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
What? And also, that would mean that any movie with an alien is talking about ICE and illegals and MAGA. Any movie about aliens.
I'm flashing to so many movies in my head
so
right now.
many movies that could be that. When the only one that is what? Attack the Block? Isn't that about that? I think that's the only one that's actually about that.
It's the one I haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't, but I know the plot. And
right.
I think it actually is about that. Defeating
That's
these
funny.
aliens requires dry erase conspiracy charts, a tripwired perimeter, homeschooling. That's not end homeschooling? Well, that's
homeschooling is how every MAGA starts.
Yeah, I agree. I just had trouble with that English. Maybe he's the alien.
I know, right? Yeah. I write reviews like humans do.
Like humans.
Ah.
I saw a movie picture.
Yes, that's what humans say. Movie picture.
Mm-hmm. I stared at glowing screen for story time.
It moved very erratically because my eyes are normal like humans and not like cat.
I didn't see the future of the movie because I can see the future as part of the powers of my race.
Which is human race.
Human race.
Human. We can all see if you... Miss Cleo. Jesus Christ.
It is a paranoid fantasy for dads who want to move upstate.
What the fuck does that even mean? I get a weird visual from it.
It's a paranoid fantasy. This is the only way I'm going to get my wife to move is if we get attacked by
This is the only way I'm getting my cabin.
Yeah, seriously. She wanted the suburbs. I wanted a cabin. Luckily, aliens attacked.
Yeah, bought a boat. Can't use it.
Yeah. It's really quiet there. Thank God.
Oh.
The family is Pinteresty and wholesome in a kinfolk magazine way. Sustainable farm craftspeople who the director stars John Krasinski and Emily Blunt have observed from their Brooklyn townhouse on the way to Court Street grocers. Okay, I'm sorry.
Where is
of course there's sustainable craftspeople. There's aliens. There's no
they're
other way to
surviving
live.
by
There's
themselves.
literally no other way to live. None. Also, that would imply that like no one can do some research.
He's just
about
mad that he felt bad about eating popcorn in the theater.
Exactly.
For those of you who saw this movie in the theater, you understand what I'm talking about.
You were the loud one. But no, I mean, to say that just because they live the life that they live, that they can't do some research and find out what it's like to be sustainable farm craftspeople.
Right.
People do research all the time. Like, everyone who made a mob movie wasn't actually in the mafia.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Montana. I can survive in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
I read up on it.
Yeah. You're good.
Yeah,
good.
I'm solid.
You can even do it blind. But not blindfolded.
No. Just blind.
Just blind. So averse to talking about their post-apocalyptic nightmare situation is this last family in a world without liberals that for them, complaining equals death. What are you talking about?
The last in a world without what? Where is this going? What politics are you trying to push? I don't know who you are.
You ever talk to someone and you're like, I feel like you're reading into this. I feel like you're reading into this. That's absolutely insane.
Right.
Like, you would be a horrible person to be married to.
Yeah.
For sure. You'd be the worst person to smoke weed with. Ever.
Oh, man.
Good Lord. You'd be like, what if? And you're like, no, not another what if. If anything that you say starts with what if, I swear to God, I'm going to slit every throat that I see. You have to. No.
Right, yeah.
You don't get to do that. You don't get to explain to me like how Cat Dog is about socialism or something. Like,
no, please, let's dive into that right now. How is Cat Dog about socialism?
I am not this guy and I am not stoned.
Try.
Oh, damn it. Because they have to share everything.
True.
Yep. And it doesn't quite work. How do they poop?
Ooh. How do they
poop? It's my biggest question about that show. We can't go into Cat Dog out of a quiet place. All right. Krasinski now exists at the midpoint between Ben Affleck and Mel Gibson.
That's an interesting little space.
Yeah. Which I believe is a movie called Bat Heart.
Bad Heart.
Right? I'm William Wallace.
I am here for your freedom.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take my parents.
Mother! They'll never take my mother.
Also, if that really was the case, Krasinski would have just killed the aliens with water. Isn't that what Mel Gibson did in Signs? Oh, it's the water!
Oh, yeah.
like when they were when he was hanging out with his son and talking near the waterfall or the river or whatever.
Yeah.
Would have been like, oh shit, we should just dunk him in there.
Look at that.
It's like, and done.
Done. Interesting random side fact that I found out. Ben Affleck actually was technically offered the role of the next Batman movie.
Yeah.
But his personal assistant, and close friend or whatever, basically said, it's a good script, but don't do it. You'll probably drink yourself to death, because apparently that's what he did with the whole other Batman thing, is that he drank so much because of how it came out. So he was like, you're right. If I take this, I'll probably kill myself by drinking.
Wow.
And not on purpose. So it's like, he actually bowed out because of his health.
So there isn't that much of a difference between Ben
Affleck and Mel Gibson. Exactly.
Turns out.
I'm glad you made that tie together.
Interesting. I don't understand how Krasinski
fits into
that. Because let's look at Krasinski's credits, right? We have The Office.
Right.
We have Quiet Place.
I mean, he is an asshole from what we've heard.
Sure. But we have Office, we have Quiet Place, and then we have the Amazon original, right?
Jack.
Is
it Jack
Ryan.
Reacher or Jack Ryan?
Jack
It's
Ryan.
Jack Ryan. There's a lot of Jacks.
So he doesn't have that much under his belt. to where we can even like say
Put
he's
them
anywhere.
together. Yeah.
You can't even make a connection like
I mean,
that.
that's if we're peeling that apart, that's pretty much like a compliment at that point. It's like you're putting Krasinski up with Ben Affleck and Mel Gibson,
two ridiculously successful people.
Yeah, who
one of whom's Batman, and one of whom's an anti-Semite.
Yeah, guess which one?
Let's move on. A Quiet Place has a Shyamalanian quality, but is less personal and clunky, more generic and crowd-pleasing. Okay, so you don't like Shyamalan because Shyamalan is clunky. You're describing it as clunky.
Okay.
But you also don't like Krasinski's work because he's generic
and crowd pleasing.
But somehow they're similar.
Yeah,
I don't really get how that works.
And how is crowd
in that you don't like?
How is crowd pleasing bad?
I don't understand that. I don't understand how
people like it. That's why this movie sucks.
Honestly, a lot of times people decide that if people enjoy something, if it's widely popular, that it's just all of a sudden bad. It happens a lot of times when there's like a band that you know or something like that, and then all of a sudden they get some notoriety and now they suck. It happened at Green Day. And then Green Day became highly respected after everyone went like, they suck.
When in actuality, it's probably just you've listened to it so much, you've grown in a different direction.
Well, you don't want everybody to like your shit. It was cool when you were the only
one. I do, personally.
Well, I'm the proverbial you.
I don't have friends that listen to what I listen to for fun.
I don't care if something becomes popular. I care if something becomes bad.
Right.
And bad is subjective, but I care if something if there's a movie series, right? And the first one's really good and I liked it a lot. And then the second one wasn't.
Right.
And I didn't like it. Then I'm like, oh man, I wish that was like the first one. Or continue the story better. Same thing with a band.
So if we're talking about The Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just because The Matrix is incredibly popular.
Well, now they're making a fourth one. Maybe they'll redeem themselves like they did with Jurassic World.
Right. For sure. It's just like people like that. I know that the Billie Eilish hate is going to be strong.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
It's going to be strong.
Because it was so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that makes perfect sense that it is. But then I'm not on that particular bandwagon.
Me neither. But then 10 years later, all the people who are like, what the fuck? They're going to be like, actually, there's some really good stuff in there.
Right.
And you're going to be like, yeah, the whole time.
Yeah. Anyways.
he gives a blunt. Or he gives a blunt. Awesome. He gives a blunt so that this makes any sense.
Right.
What if? All right. He gives Blunt a farmhouse scene in which she delivers her own baby in a dirty bathtub without making a sound. A fascinating preview of a post Roe v. Wade world. What are you talking about?
What are you putting together, sir, ma'am? I don't know what you are.
It's really weird when people just take something that is very clearly like this is made for fun, but also two, all it does is kind of explore a little bit about like how people are with each other,
right?
When there's crisis, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
that like Walking Dead did. It's like it's not really about the zombies; it's about the people, right? What happens when you're in this situation?
In a post Roe v. Wade,
right?
In a
where you can't have it taken care of, so you can't
go to Planned Parenthood because everyone's dead.
Yeah, that's not exactly.
That's not post Roe v. Wade world. That's literally
everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead. I hate you.
Krasinski was once comfortable in the worlds of Dave Eggers and David Foster Wallace. Away we go. Brief interviews with a hideous man. But has apparently switched his focus to militarized action, 13 Hours Detroit.
That is what happens when you get ripped.
Yeah, it's also something that happens when you want to do other things.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, well, he did the pudgy, quirky guy for so long, just like Chris Pratt. Yeah. And not Aziz Ansari. Forgot his name. He's in the next Guardians. Yeah. I just forgot his name.
He's in Eternals.
Eternals, yeah. But yeah, you do the other stuff sometimes when you get the opportunity to, because it's the complete opposite.
Well, I mean,
Robin Williams is a great thing of that too.
Most people who act don't want to be typecasted, right?
No.
So
some do,
but most
don't. Yeah,
most don't, and some have no choice because that's the extent of what they can do.
Right.
But most want to stretch into something else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was doing that kind of stuff, and then decided to move to some other kind of stuff, and now he is
because
like, let's make a horror flick, and then he's going to be like, let's make this kind of movie and let's make that kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
He might end up, out of nowhere, he might be like, I have a blues band, motherfucker. And you're going to be like, I guess he has a blues band now. I don't know. He's
all right. Yeah. All right, Hugh Laurie.
He's like, yeah. You won't be as good as that. But A Quiet Place may be reactionary, but it only wants to be entertainment, the same way Affleck and Gibson movies do.
A Quiet Place may be reactionary to what? I mean, he's clearly trying to put something together with all of this. So he's saying A Quiet Place is reactionary to some political view, but it only wants to be entertainment, when in actuality, it should just be A Quiet Place wants to be entertainment and is entertainment.
I mean, I would say that if you're going to make any kind of correlation...
Because he's trying to put Braveheart to comparing the underlying subtones of that and Argo like that. To Quiet Place is a horror movie about monsters that suddenly come out of nowhere. We don't know where they came from, and they react to sound, and if they hear sound, they kill the sound.
What's funny is I actually feel like if you wanted to really come up with a statement that this was making, if you really wanted to do that, it would actually be more about climate change, because at the end of the day...
I can put that together.
At the end of the day, A Quiet Place is people will survive. We'll do what we have to do and survive.
I mean, even more boiled down, it's a Hallmark movie with an R rating.
Right.
It's about...
I don't think we should be looking for a double meaning.
It's watching a family trying to be a family in a world that doesn't want them to be a family. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And actually,
the survival aspect and everything should be more present in the next one. Mm-hmm. And the family aspect will continue, but not nearly as much as the first one. I completely agree with that. The goal in this one is effective horror. Just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. There's no such thing as society. It's only a movie. There's no such thing as society.
What the
hell is this guy talking about? Why is this guy trying to make this mean so much?
I don't
know. The only reason to make something mean this much and to dive that deeply into something, the only reason is if it's successful. That's the only reason. And this movie was successful.
Right.
And otherwise, he would have been like, oh, it's just some stupid horror movie. But because it was successful and people are actually talking about it, he's like, I better come up with something. I better. But I feel like he didn't even come up with something. He just kind of like...
This is the guy that always ends up at the party that nobody wants him there, because he's going to start something to try to push a button to come up with, like, why Pabst Blue Ribbon is communist propaganda.
Right. Completely. He's why you don't actually learn anything in class.
Yeah. Oh, that guy.
The guy who's just like, oh, well, what about this? And then completely derails the entire lecture and you learn nothing.
Right. Or just argues his metaphysical point for absolutely no reason. It really is so loosely contained. Clearly, I've met these people.
And for sure. I mean, some of them are crazy. They'll grab a butter and they'll be like, you see this logo?
Uh-huh.
The people who made this hate Jews. And you're like, what are you talking about? Well, you see this little symbol here? And you're like, what are you talking about?
Well, here, let's look at this monster can. For all of you who might remember that story.
The anti-Jesus monster can.
Because the O has a line through it.
It's the anti-Jesus monster can of reviews. And now we've come to the part of the show where we tell you incredibly honest and true facts about the movie A Quiet Place that are totally true and not fake at all. This is Fake Facts.
John Krasinski wrote A Quiet Place as a tribute to his mom, who he said, quote, always seemed to hear everything I was doing in the house, so I couldn't get away with anything.
A Quiet Place is John Krasinski's directorial debut, unless you count the 2 movies he directed before, but no one has ever heard of them, so we don't.
Emily Blunt originally wanted the role as one of the monsters. Krasinski told his wife that there is no way anyone could make her that hideous. She immediately had sex with him.
This has been Fake Facts about A Quiet Place. She immediately had sex with him. And now it's time to take a look at audience reviews. These are non-professionals that we found on Rotten Tomatoes who wrote their own little wonderful reviews about A Quiet Place. These are always fun to read. I'll get the ball rolling on this one. 95% fresh. All of you must have loved the Blair Witch Project, too. This movie was so bad. Willing suspension of disbelief is almost non-existent. Demogorgon plus Starship Troopers bug as the monster. Not creative at all. No one figuring out its weakness before billions die. Laughable. The actors did a great job, though. That is literally the only takeaway. Cheers, mates.
This person...
I love the Demogorgon plus Starship Troopers bug as the monster. Which
is not creative at all. What do you mean? It's combining 2 different things.
Which is how you make things.
Which is how you make things. Yeah, exactly.
It's literally how you make things. Also, that's an awesome monster.
That's great. Yeah.
Like you're taking 2 cool monsters and putting them together. That's not a bad thing.
95% fresh. All of you must have loved insert any movie that he just decided.
Also, lots of people like the Blair Witch Project. It's a very popular movie.
Unless he meant Blair Witch Project 2.
No, that's too.
I know.
I'm pretty sure. You're giving way too much credit to Andrew. Way too much credit.
He is a aficionado of reality movies.
Also, no one figuring out its weakness before billions die.
Right.
Laughable. How many things have we not cured?
I mean, we're dealing with one right now.
Right. How many things have we not cured? It's not laughable. It's accurate.
It's how we're set up.
Of course, that's normal.
Right? Oh, God. All right. John Krasinski has a shotgun and never uses it once. The end. Weird. You'd think you'd know why.
It's loud. Shotguns are loud.
It's literally for the emergency of killing one of the things.
It's like, I can't believe he wasn't using foghorns the whole time. You kidding me?
No.
Like I can't believe that metal band died so quickly.
Oh,
it's like, man, I was trying to learn some deicide,
right?
And then it killed me.
Yeah, falling in reverse, just first half hour of the movie.
Just dead. along, I just feel bad for Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh God!
Like, if anyone's not gonna survive during A Quiet Place, it's Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried and Tiffany Haddish are just dead immediately.
Oh. Poor Tiffany.
Oh. Was expecting ultra low ratings for this movie, but it is interesting to see the exact opposite. Seems like most people experience the tension and thrill from the long silence. Then there are some of us that didn't give a shit and nearly fell asleep from the long silence. Haha. That is apparent.
Oh, yeah.
That is apparent. That is a person who's like, this is the first bit of silence I've had.
And I believe that is a deer.
I think that's a deer. I mean, yeah, she seems nice. No, that's definitely someone who like has a new baby. Who's like, I finally got out of the house. I'm seeing this movie. I haven't had silence in forever. And
or needs trolls.
Yeah. I bet her husband loved the movie.
Right. But he's not allowed to have an opinion.
But he was just like, I'll let her sleep. She's been dealing with a lot of stuff.
Right.
New baby and everything. And I haven't been helping. Maybe he came to a bunch of realizations. She slept and he realized because of the family dynamic in the movie that he needs to step it up. This movie might have saved their fucking marriage. Congratulations, John Krasinski.
You saved their marriage.
I want to go down in history saying that actually happened. Hashtag John Krasinski saves people's marriages.
Wanted to like this movie. Yeah, for a movie full of American Sign Language, but way too many plot holes. Poor character development and no connection to anyone. Also, what's with that stupid nail? No one noticed it in all these years? You haven't lived in a house, have you? You've grown up in apartments.
Yeah. Also, I feel like there were some other things on their mind.
Yeah, there's
You know?
yeah, like the things that I noticed growing up and like running into a nail that's been there for 10 years and I wasn't running from monsters.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so funny. It's like, how did you not know that was over there? It's like, I was trying to not be eaten.
Right. That was my least favorite part of the movie. Not in the like I hated it, but in the like, oh god, I know what's gonna happen, and that really gets to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like the nail through the foot, the fingernail getting ripped off thing, you know, like all that stuff. Just yeah.
You turn it.
I turn it Arnold
This was the worst movie that I've ever seen. I thought it would never end.
Well, good thing it's a movie.
Way to believe in infinity. Do you have an infinity tattoo? You have an infinity tattoo.
Try to imagine infinity.
I'm done.
Okay.
Turns out it didn't last that long.
Unintelligent shitfest.
I'm going. If someone fucking told me that was an event,
Unintelligent
dude, you go
shitfest.
to unintelligent shitfest, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, who's bringing the opium?
Yeah, who's playing?
Yeah. Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Who else went? Bloodhound Gang.
Yeah, Bloodhound Gang. Ozzy's reunited tour.
Yeah, Go-Go Bordello.
Go-Go Bordello. Oh god, I've seen them.
And
in,
fucking Guar.
And Guar.
Oh man, I can't wait to go to that. It's actually it'd be really funny. Like you walk up to the bar, you're like, can I get a shot of whiskey? Sorry, we only do triples.
Right.
It doesn't turn into an unintelligent shitfest unless we're drinking triples.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, like,
it's
not just the band.
Yeah, I only want one.
Right.
Yeah, we just don't do that. I'm sorry. Like, this is the opposite of what bars normally do. Yeah. Because you're at unintelligent shitfest.
Hey, where's the outhouses?
Right. Outhouses? Here's a box.
A box? It's not even a Home Depot bucket.
No, it's just like a fucking. It's like a 12-pack box. Here you go.
Everyone's shitting in McDonald's buckets.
Yeah. Just bad. Bad story. Made up by dumb people in it. You can't identify with any character, and you end up feeling they should get killed.
Now read this in the voice of a 16-year-old high school girl.
Exactly. I just love that it's bad story made by dumb people in it.
Because Krasinski's
in it. You know, if he wasn't in it, if he didn't start it, he just wrote it and directed it. It would have been
made by dumb people.
Made by dumb people. But they're like, ooh, I'm going to put that extra little
gotta
dig in
get
there.
the dig. You can't identify with any character. Well, I mean, I can't identify with the apocalypse yet.
Yeah.
Give it a year.
I mean, they have a family, and I don't, so that's hard to identify with as well.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
Families.
I certainly can't identify as a young daughter.
No.
So that's true. I don't remember what it's like to be a boy.
Or a dead husband.
Or a dead husband. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You can't identify with shit.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well done, David. You figured it out. Well, that brings us to the end of our show. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Critique the Critics. And if you did have a good time on whatever your platform you're watching, if it's a podcast where you're listening or on YouTube where you're watching, make sure you subscribe, comment.
Or somehow on Pinterest.
Exactly. Throw something in the comments of what you thought of the movie and what you think of our show and suggestions for other movies to talk about. And make sure you hit a like if there's a like available. I don't know.
Who knows?
Every platform's different. We are, of course, on Twitch every week as well, playing video games, playing games with you guys, and having fun. So if you want to check that out,
Yeah.
all the descriptions will be available.
They're
for you
there.
to find. They're
They
there.
exist.
Exactly. That being said, we love your faces, and until we see you next time, geek out and game on.
Bye.